All right, let's hear Vance.
The guy who listens to the Democrat Party bosses, as that party has just become anti-everything that is good. They're anti-women playing in women's sports. They want men to play in women's sports, the craziest thing. They become anti-Semitic in the Democratic Party. They become anti-Christian in the Democratic Party. They become anti-white in the Democratic Party. The guy who listens to the Democrat Party bosses.
Where are you guys seeing the anti-Christian? I know some leftists are anti-Christian, but are we really seeing like a lot of anti-Christian? I haven't been seeing it. At least he says they're anti-white.
Trump talks about his brother who was an alcoholic and died an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Your mother entered recovery. She's doing great. And I do believe that the underpinning in that is a meaning question.
Yes.
That, like, when you look at the 12-step programs, they try to address the underlying causes of drinking, which a lot of it has to do with meaning.
Absolutely.
And I mean, how valuable was that to see your mother? Because, like, when someone gets into a 12-step program, it affects your life too.
Absolutely. In fact, I've gone to a number of NA or AA meetings with my mom, and they're amazing, but they're also spiritual. There's a lot of talk about God. There's a lot of talk about Jesus at these meetings. Even though they welcome everybody, there is this spiritual underpinning that I think makes it work. But, you know, it's an amazing thing just about the redemptive story that God sometimes puts us on, because I'm sitting here right now. I'm the Vice President of the United States, which sounds crazy even when I say it. And I have a 9-year-old son, and I remember when Usha was pregnant with that baby boy, I thought to myself, my mom is never going to meet this child, because the addiction was, you know, she had been clean and sober for about a year, but I'd seen her fall off the wagon before. And I thought to myself, she'll probably never meet this baby. And yet she is now 11 years clean and sober. She took that 1 year sobriety and turned it into something more. And I think that God speaks to us, all of us, in our own ways. And one of the ways that I learned that he has a plan for everybody is seeing my mom transform her life and transform herself. And now it's crazy. My mom goes around and talks to addict groups. And she talks about how to get back on the horse. You know, you fall off the horse, you got to keep getting back on. That redemption.
Yeah. It's people doing it. It's not Jesus. You know, people, many things can help people stay sober. Seeing a grandchild can help you kick an addiction. You know, some people do replace an addiction with Jesus, their addiction to drugs, with an addiction to Jesus, and become Jesus junkies. That's kind of where the church preys on people too. They reach out to people really down on their luck and in need of help, and that's where they basically like recruit and evangelize to.
You know, who can look at progressive atheistic culture and say, like, for example, if you believe that Jesus is the Son of God, rose from the dead on the third day, there are a lot of progressives who will say, you're a crazy person, you believe in superstitions. And those who say,
yes. Wow. Yes. If only we had more of that. Yes. Okay. Where's he going with this?
Superstitions. And those same people will tell you that if a grown man takes some hormonal therapies that Big Pharma told them to take, that person will become a woman.
No. What a false dichotomy. What a false dichotomy. See, this is why we gotta represent the secular right, the secular centrist extremist, not the woke ultra left stuff. This is such a false dichotomy. Oh, you're if you don't believe in magic Jesus and the Bible, then you must believe in trans. Come on. That's such trash. False dichotomy fallacy.
It's like, actually, you believe something that's far crazier and clearly a violation of nature. And I think that there is this deep sense of purpose and meaning that everybody's seeking. And I think what's great, I mean, obviously I'm a Christian, so I'm going to say this, but what's great about Christianity is it's a healthy way to find meaning. But if you try to find all of your meaning in politics, or you try to find all of your meaning in worldly things, I think it has a very distorting effect. And again, because I was an atheist, I thought I was better than everybody, and I realized, you know what? This is actually not.
Now you're a Christian and you think you're better than everybody.
I think it has a very distorting effect. And again, that's like part of how I found my way back to faith. Because I was an atheist, I thought I was better than everybody, and I realized, you know what? This is actually not making me a very good person.
Or a happy person.
You know, who can look at.
Yeah, just not believing in Jewish fairy tales doesn't like de facto make you a good person, though. If you're not a good person, and unless you have Jesus, then you're just not a good person. I was a total piece of shit until I started believing in these magical Jewish fairy tales. It's like, all right. And then this is the result. This is the fruits of that. Mike Huckabee, top goy, ambassador to Israel.
Of Israel. But it is also my job to represent the importance of Israel to the United States. This is just another reminder that it is your heritage without a doubt. But minister, it is also the heritage.
No, it's salvation. Messiah brings salvation to the Gentiles when they're obedient and his slaves, though. I mean, Jews maybe get the ultimate salvation, but I don't know if that's fair to say. They're enslaved. Their salvation is being enslaved to the Jewish God that chose the Jews.
Without the Jewish foundation, there would not be an America. We owe our very existence to what
Meanwhile, Trump's saying Israel wouldn't exist if not for him.
happened in this land.
We wouldn't exist. No, white people couldn't have done anything without the Jews and Jesus. Yeah. How is it all going to end? Joel, what is this? Joel Richardson.
He who sits in the heavens laughs. He scoffs.
Dude, imagine it, like this is a Christian. This is a Christian that wants Jesus to rule the world. This is a real Christian, actually. This is what the Bible says. Does it not just sound like an insane rabbi? Like, oh, the Goyim are going to bow down. Every knee of the Goyim will bow down to Moshiach and Hashem, and you'll be Noahides. If you want to have the afterlife or the world to come, you better bow down to the Messiah, Moshiach. Indistinguishable. One just says his name is Jesus and he supposedly came before. The other one's still waiting on somebody. He gets like demonic with it too. This guy blocked me when I just like mildly like corrected him on something. Gets sick. It's like sick fantasies about all the Goyim are going to bow to my Jewish God.
He mocks them. He's not worried. He's not depressed. He's not concerned. He will speak to them in his wrath and his anger for the controversy of Zion. He will terrify them in his fury, saying, but as for me, this is where it's all going. I have installed my king on Mount Zion, my holy mountain, my holy mountain. So this is a beautiful irony. It's a beautiful redemptive irony. It's easy to get depressed. It's easy to get down when we see prophecy actually unfolding. You go, my gosh, I've always known it was coming. But here it is. We need to also remember that this prophecy will be fulfilled as well. Jesus is coming back and he's going to fix this mess. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And I hope that you all are looking forward to that as well.
Look at it. Look at the smile on his face when he
fix this mess.
Fix this. He's going to come down in the clouds with a sword and a robe and a horse. And he's going to fix it all. Look at this guy. This guy on Tucker talks about, I think he's going to say something like the theme of America's evil and satanic and it deserves God's wrath to be destroyed. Let's hear it from this cowboy patriot Christian. Is he they always say this shit, especially on Tucker.
You're damn right he's going to humble us. And I can't wait.
Humble us. He can't wait for God to humble us.
For the country to be humbled.
Bring it. Because I don't want to live in a country.
Yeah, bring it. Humble America. Destroy America. It's so evil and satanic. Evil, satanic Edom needs to be destroyed. This is the Dugan Russian Orthodox Church line. This is the Kabbalah Rabbi line.
I don't want to live in a place like that. That is the most abhorrent thing you can possibly imagine.
But there's a lot of suffering on the way from here to humility.
100%. Pain. Pain is the greatest teacher. Pain is... I mean, he made the Israelites wander around out in the wilderness for 40 years. Moses didn't even get to go into the promised land because he sinned, and that was his punishment. You can go down the list. All of them did something. I mean, they're just humans, but he gives you, I've said this before, if God really loves you, he'll only slap your teeth out instead of your brains.
Bro, you don't got no brains for God to kick out.
He really cares about you.
See, it's always this theme of America. These Christians are like, they're anti-American. Oh, it's all evil and satanic abortion. Oh, let's God got to destroy it.
How do we ensure that our children are just hearing the word so that we can raise generations that love God?
Yeah, so first, I remember when I was in boot camp and I met a kid from Eastern Kentucky, and then we had a guy in our boot camp platoon who was from a denomination, a Christian denomination I'd never heard of. And I wrote a letter home to my mama and I said, "What is this?" And she responded, "Well, it's just another branch of Christianity." And she said, "Honey, you know, in Eastern Kentucky, we're all snake handlers." And so that was her response to that. But I remember, that was obviously, she was joking with me, but she said, it's all about Jesus. And that's one of the things I really love about the American church is there are all of these different pathways to God. Everybody has their own crises, their own blessings, their own moments of grace, their own moments of struggle. But I think that what's really cool about the American church is it's so dynamic because we're all forced to really deal with these issues. Like, you can't be an American Catholic or an American Pentecostal or an American Southern Baptist without running into somebody who has a slightly different perspective on faith. Yes, Jesus is all that matters, but I think one of the ways that we come to know God is by talking about him and trying to understand him. And that's what I love about the American church is we're all kind of figuring that out together. Different ways, sometimes with snake handlers, sometimes with speaking in tongues, sometimes with a beautiful Catholic Mass. But I think all these pathways really matter, and they're part of the reason why we do find our path to God.
Powerful.
All actual Catholics would agree with what J.D. Vance said. Right, dude. There. And it's true. Yeah. It's like, who are you to tell some guy that's not a Catholic that believes in the Bible and believes in Jesus that he doesn't believe in God when he thinks Jesus is the Son of God? Like, come on. Like, it's just like, so there's Protestants and then there's Catholics. Yo, you're not saved if you're not a Catholic. And then there's Eastern Orthodox. Oh, neither of them are saved because we're the true church. It's like them saying Jews, oh, Jews don't believe in God because you can only get to the Father through the Son. But it's like, but that doesn't change the fact they still do worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of the Torah. So
saying that J.D. Vance isn't Catholic is insane. Like, he's literally just because he's married, they're like, oh, he's married to a non-Catholic, so he can't. Dude, that is not like removing him from the Catholic Church if he's married to a non-Catholic. The Catholic Church deals with that problem internally, and he has a person that he confesses to and all that stuff. But one thing I want to point out to these guys is it just shows that they don't understand their own religion whatsoever. The reason that Christianity succeeded is because of this was built in. In Mark 9:38, Jesus says, John said to him, "Teacher, we saw someone cast out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him because he is not following us. But Jesus said, do not stop him, for no one who does a mighty work in my name will be able to soon afterward to speak evil of me. For the one who is not against us is for us." This story is reiterated in Luke, and this story is reiterated in a way in Matthew, okay?